For example, a feather and a coin must fall at exactly the same speed.
Mr. Seaver,
What?
you just said a feather and a coin would fall at exactly the same speed.
I certainly did not. Oh, I did.
Well, they don't. I tried it.
Well, the book says that they do, so why don't we just move on, okay?
Hey there, I'm Maud Garrett and welcome to another episode of RT Essentials. Just hold on a minute. I would like to thank the Academy, my agent, my mum and my dad, my dog Zelda, who's always been there for me. All the TV sitcom actors out there who dream of one day winning an Oscar. This one is for you. Sorry, I just need to get that out of the way because it's not going to happen in real life. Welcome to the show where we break down our list of the best and most necessary contributions to film and television. This week, we're doing something a little different, focusing on actors who began as not-so-serious performers and then transformed themselves into living, breathing embodiments of Oscar bait. While not all of our entries have won the coveted Academy Award, they've all got one thing in common. They understood the assignment when it came to taking being serious, well, seriously. From massive pre-production preparation and learning a totally new skill set to rigorous character immersion that may or may not involve massive weight fluctuations and the occasional mailing of a dead rat, supposedly. Here's the RT Essentials Guide to actors who shed their previous brands for a shot at an award show win, or at least the honor of being nominated. Will Smith.
I'm the type of person, if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you that I don't know. But I bet you what, I know how to find the answer, and I will find the answer. Is that fair enough?
Chris, what would you say if a guy walked in for an interview without a shirt on?
Now this is a story all about how Will Smith's career got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how he got an Oscar after The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Whew! I just dated myself. In 1990, a young rapper named Will Smith landed a sitcom on NBC, and for the next 6 years appeared on our television and built his brand as his charming South Philly fish out of water in the Tony zip code. During Fresh Prince, Smith did a few film roles, but he made them count. In 1993's 6 Degrees of Separation, where he co-starred alongside Sir Ian McKellen as a silver-tongued grifter who cons posh New Yorkers into believing that he's the son of actor Sidney Poitier. Sounds exactly like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air plot arc, actually. In 1995, Smith broke out for his role as Miami police detective in Michael Bay's Bad Boys. And then the following year, he co-starred in the director's Independence Day. It was his delivery of Welcome to Earth that cemented his role as a blockbuster hero. But the leap from being big-budget Bay blockbusters, I'll try saying that 10 times fast, to awards contender would take a few more years, with his first Oscar nomination for his 2001 turn as the titular fighter in Michael Mann's Ali. Ironically, Smith originally turned down the role, and it took a personal phone call from the boxer himself asking him to reconsider for Smith to change his mind. To get in shape, Smith relocated to Aspen to train with the aid of the environment's thin air. In less than 4 months of 5-mile runs and several hour stints at the gym, Smith was able to put on 35 pounds of muscle and reach Ali's real-life weight of 210.5 pounds. Healthy? No. Impressive? Yes. I mean, I'm impressed.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
Alright.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it.
Smith got a little more comfortable in serious roles after that, earning his second nomination for The Pursuit of Happiness, playing real-life stockbroker Chris Gardner as he went from homeless salesman to founder of his own $1 million brokerage firm. Gardner originally balked at the comedic Smith taking the role until his daughter told him to get over himself, saying if he can play Muhammad Ali, he can play you. Truth. Especially since he didn't have to put on 35 pounds running on thin air to prove it. Leonardo DiCaprio.
But if anybody ever hits you, or even just lays a finger on you, what are you gonna do, Arnie? You're gonna tell me, and then I'm gonna take care of it for you, right? And why will I take care of it? Gilbert. Hmm?
So you're Gilbert.
Because I'm Gilbert. Because nobody hurts Arnie, right?
Leonardo DiCaprio isn't exactly known for his sense of humour. I mean, global warming, basketball, dating supermodels, and that one time that he fought a bear in The Revenant, sure. But the guy's never hosted Saturday Night Live, which, come on, if Elon Musk can do it. Before his breakout performance in 1993's What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which earned him his first Academy Award nomination, Leo was actually best known for playing Luke on Growing Pains, who gets adopted by the Seaver family. He also did a stint on Parenthood, the short-lived 90s version, though his first role, Critters 3, which is probably why most people saw the 19-year-old DiCaprio at his first Academy Awards and shouted, "Hey, it's that kid from Critters 3! We can't leave him."
All right, come on!
But after losing out in Gilbert Grape, Leo's career became one long string of also-rans for the Oscars. He was the lone holdout from the cast and crew not nominated for Titanic, James Cameron's juggernaut historical romance from 1997 that was literally the most profitable movie of all time. In total, DiCaprio would receive 7 Oscar nominations to actually win the friggin' thing. Yay! It took DiCaprio until 2015's The Revenant to actually win an Oscar for his performance. No, he didn't actually wrestle a bear, but he did learn how to shoot a musket, speak 2 Native American languages, train with a doctor specializing in ancient indigenous healing techniques, and ate raw bison liver. Ugh. Considering Leo's a vegetarian, that is some real method acting right there. Anne Hathaway.
You're so jealous.
Why would I be jealous of Andrew? He's got to spend the rest of his life married to you.
I loathe you.
I loathe you.
I loathe you first. What are you doing? What is wrong with you? You can't just go around kissing people, particularly not engaged people.
Anne Hathaway broke big on her first film, 2001's The Princess Diaries. But lesser known was her humble beginnings on a short-lived TV show, Get Real, in which she played the sister of another future notable, Jesse Eisenberg. After a few years of family films, including a sequel, The Princess Diaries: A Very Royal Engagement, Hathaway sought to break free from her squeaky clean good girl image with 2005's Havoc, playing a young woman wrapped up in East LA gang life. That same year, she would be in Brokeback Mountain, and 1 year later, 2006, landed the starring role in The Devil Wears Prada, in which she played against a woman who has Oscars to spare, Meryl Streep. But it took partnering up with Jonathan Demme in 2008 for Rachel Getting Married for Hathaway to get her first Oscar nomination, playing a recovering addict who gets a weekend pass to attend her sister's wedding. Maybe Havoc was a move in the right direction?
That's why I'm calling, is, see what happened.
Oh, yeah. Jack was pumping up a flat on the truck out on a back road when the tire blew up. The rim of the tire slammed into his face, broke his nose and jaw, and knocked him unconscious on his back. By the time somebody come along, he drowned in his own blood.
People seem to like Hathaway halfway in the bag. It was her dramatic sing face for which Hathaway won her Best Supporting Actress for 2012's Les Miserables, playing Fantine. Though, spoiler alert, the character dies in the first act, her I Dreamed a Dream went too hard for the Academy to ignore. Though the iconic performance of the song was completed in one shot, it wasn't a single take. Hathaway spent over 8 hours shooting the single scene again and again until she reached a level of emotional depth that she felt was right. She also had to cut all of her hair off for the role on camera, with her hairdresser wearing women's clothing so that they could catch the realism of watching a famous actress getting all of her hair shorn. Sure, before that, we had Natalie Portman and Demi Moore with shaved heads for roles, but never were audiences let in on the process. She deserved an Oscar just for that. Jonah Hill.
I told you, 70,000. Well, technically 72,000 last month, something like that.
You made 72 grand in 1 month.
Yeah.
I tell you what. You show me a pay stub for $72,000 on it, I quit my job right now and I work for you. Hey, Paulie, what's up? No, everything's fine. Hey, listen, I quit.
Jonah Hill made an inauspicious debut in feature films with David O. Russell's 2004 I Heart Huckabees. Yeah, that existential detective comedy that is most famous for a leaked video of the director screaming at Lily Tomlin. But shortly went on to make a name as a prolific supporting comedic presence in films like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Grandma's Boy, Click, Accepted, Knock Up, and Superbad.
Whoa! What's wrong?
I would prefer if we would just do that at some other time.
No, there's no other time. School's up. What's wrong with right now?
Well, I mean, you're drunk. You're like really.
So you're
really
drunk? You're drunk, Jules.
Yeah, I'm not drunk at all. I don't even drink, so
It's only by the grace of Judd Apatow that we have Jonah Hill. But as important as the comedy director was to the actor's early years, it was Martin Scorsese who got Hill his first Academy Award nomination for a more serious turn in 2014's The Wolf of Wall Street. And boy, did Hill go hard. First of all, Scorsese wanted him for the role of Jordan Belfonte's friend and business partner, Donny Azoff. But Hill demanded that he audition for the part. It was the first time he'd read for a part in 6 years. Ooh, golly, must be nice to go from redundantly auditioning for Martin Scorsese just for a change of pace. Here are just some of the hurdles on his role to the Oscars. The fake teeth that Hill wore for the role gave him an audible lisp, which he overcame by spending hours on the phone speaking to random businesses with the prosthetics in. He also developed bronchitis after snorting crushed up vitamins in lieu of cocaine. It became so severe, he needed to be hospitalized. See kids, vitamins can kill you, but still take them responsibly. Most famously, the scene where Hill eats a live goldfish is partially legitimate. Assisted by professional handlers, Hill did put a live goldfish in his mouth for several seconds, but he did not swallow it. Chadwick Boseman.
Rolling Stones ain't even ever had a hit record here. Matter of fact, they ain't even ever played in America, have they?
Who cares? They're just kids. In a year, nobody's gonna know who they are. They're instant has-beens.
Rolling Stone.
It's just business, James.
When I hit that stage, you people better be ready. Especially the white folk.
Yes, sir, Mr. Brown.
Chadwick Boseman's remarkable career started with an equally remarkable coincidence. With his background in New York theatre, he did what many off-Broadway stars do, playing bit roles in shows such as Law & Order, ER, Lie to Me, Justified, and Fringe. But his big break was supposed to be his recurring role on the soap opera All My Children. Instead, he was fired after raising concerns about racial stereotypes on the program. His replacement? Future Black Panther co-star Michael B. Jordan. But Boseman was destined for bigger things, landing his first major role playing baseball legend Jackie Robinson in 2013's 42. A stunt double was initially used for some of the more physically demanding scenes in 42, but Boseman was frustrated by his inability to slide into base the way the baseball player did, and lobbied to replace his own stunt double. Take it. Producers eventually relented, only to find once that they were in the editing room that Boseman had made their job so much easier. And Chadwick Boseman's knack for mimicry didn't stop at sports stars. The following year saw the release of Get On Up, with Boseman's uncanny take on music legend James Brown. Chadwick Boseman received his first and sadly last Oscar nomination for his role as the swaggering trumpeter Levy Green in George C. Wolfe's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, adapted from the August Wilson play. He passed away from cancer before the movie's release, the 8th actor in Academy history and the first black actor to receive a posthumous nomination. Boseman's final role would be in 2021 when he voiced T'Challa in the animated Marvel series What If, a bittersweet coda to his all-too-brief career. Jamie Foxx.
How would you like to go on the road with me? How much you gonna pay us?
Well, you know, Ahmed takes care of all of that.
Oh, what, you mean he don't listen to you?
Yeah, you better know he does. Look, don't worry about it. Brother Ray will take care of all of you, honey.
Well, my mama taught me to take care of myself, honey.
Well, is your mother here?
Like Jim Carrey, another comedian turned serious actor, Jamie Foxx began his career goofing off on the sketch comedy show In Living Color. People then assumed he just jumped into starring in Ray, which totally ignores the 5 seasons of The Jamie Foxx Show that aired from 1996 to 2001 on the WB, which is understandable since the late 90s, early aughts were notorious for producing both great movies and terrible, terrible fashion choices. Fox started with smaller roles in movies like Toys and The Truth About Cats and Dogs and Any Given Sunday, but it wasn't until 2001, where he co-starred alongside Will Smith in Ali, that Hollywood sat up and started taking notes. In 2005, he received his first nominations for Best Supporting Actor in Collateral and Best Actor in Ray. He would win the Academy Award for the latter, becoming only the second man ever to be nominated for 2 different roles in the same year. To this day, it's just Jamie Foxx and Al Pacino. You should definitely star in a movie together. Oh, wait, that's Any Given Sunday.
Because, you know, when I passed out and everything like that, you know, that was just, you know, I was just playing around so you could go ahead and get your self-defense class on.
You were acting?
Yeah, of course, you know, I've been working on that. You know, girl, don't think a little gun gonna scare me.
No.
I'll tell you right now. I ain't tripping.
Check out what they gave me down at the track.
Oh, Lord, Jesus,
To prepare for the role, Fox went the extra mile. He visited Ray Charles and played old tapes provided by Quincy Jones to study and refine his portrayal. He wore eye prosthetics during the filming that effectively made him blind for up to 14 hours a day on set. He taught himself to read Braille and play the piano. So next time you catch yourself complaining about having to work over the weekend, imagine teaching yourself to blind read sheet music for an instrument that you don't even know how to play. Jared Leto.
Okay, this is our last chance to get back on track. We won't have to scuffle and make that freezing scene every day. We need the bread.
Getting the money is not the problem, Harry.
What is the problem, for Christ's sake?
If you were a teen girl in the 90s, you knew Jared Leto under a different name, Jordan Catalano, his beguiling stoner character on ABC's My So-Called Life. Claire Danes' character may have been fooled by his bad boy persona, but Jordan Catalano was just Theodore Logan without a bill. In 1997, Leto burst onto the big screen in his first starring role as the titular character of the sports biopic Prefontaine. By the time the new millennia rolled up, Leto had built an impressive ensemble resume in movies like The Thin Red Line, Fight Club, Girl Interrupted, American Psycho, and Requiem for a Dream. Whew, they are some real heavy-hitter movies. In 2007, Leto transformed himself by gaining 67 pounds for the poorly received film Chapter 27, in which he played notorious gunman Mark David Chapman. The film bombed, and after Mr. Nobody in 2009, Leto stepped away from Hollywood for 5 years to focus on 30 Seconds to Mars, which, to quote the best line in pop star Never Stop Never Stopping, is the name of a band, not a fact. In 2013, Leto returned with a vengeance, receiving a Best Supporting Oscar for his role in Dallas Buyers Club. He lost 30 pounds on an all-liquid diet and waxed his entire body to prepare to play Rayan, a trans prostitute with AIDS who befriends Matthew McConaughey's Ron Woodruff.
Adios, cowboy.
What's your problem?
I can handle your insults, but 5%.
All right, 10.
25. Take it or leave it.
For those keeping score at home, this is the 3rd time that Leto dramatically changed his weight for a role. Losses for Dallas and Requiem, gains for Chapter 27. In my headcanon, I like to believe that after co-starring in American Psycho, Leto and Christian Bale have secretly been in competition for most method acting done via a scale. Leto would stay in character off set, even going out shopping as Rayan, which, if you think that's just what he does to win Oscars, think again. For his role as the Joker in The Suicide Squad, Leto went full tilt. And while he's since refuted some of the rumours of his on-set antics, there's still the claims that he gifted his co-stars with, among other things, a slaughtered hog, sex toys, nudie mags, and used condoms. While Leto's off-screen antics never garnered him the same accolades as the same role he had for Heath Ledger, it did earn him a reputation as someone who takes his job a little too seriously. Robert Pattinson.
You smashed up the lifeboat! You're abandoning your post. What are you gonna do? Send for the lighthouse establishment? Such says I'll report ye. I'll bring the inspector up. I'll report you! I know what you done. Who's reporting who? Ephraim Winslow. But Tom Soward, I know what you done. You killed a second.
It is crazy to think that how in just one decade, the name Robert Pattinson was known for exactly one thing: shiny vampires. Well, two if you include his brief appearance as Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. But for most of America, Pattinson was the sparkly Edward Cullen from the Twilight Saga, a role that he played opposite his then-girlfriend, Kristen Stewart. By all rights, neither actor should have been able to escape the insta-celebrity notoriety of Catherine Hardwicke's YA films, so powerful that it literally created its own force of gravity in the literary world, as publishers rushed to find the next supernatural teen romance to quickly turn into a cinematic cash grab. But post-Breaking Dawn, Pattinson made an unusual call, turning away from mainstream movies and working almost exclusively on smaller, independent art house films like David Cronenberg's Cosmopolis, the science fiction thriller High Life. If anyone had any doubts about Pattinson's ability to turn in a seriously unhinged performance, need not look any further than him and the Green Goblin screaming unintelligible obscenities about each other's farts for almost 2 hours. R. Pats was an early adopter of the A24 aesthetic. He was unrecognizable as a dirtbag bank robber, careening from one disaster to another in the Safdie brothers' 2015 heist thriller Good Time, a role that he'd landed after contacting the duo because he'd found a poster of their previous movie online and liked the way it looked. Before Good Time, the Safdies had been unable to finance their unproduced script, Uncut Gems. But thanks to Pattinson's hypnotic, jittery performance in the movie, the brothers were soon fielding offers from Hollywood execs.
Or leeching off welfare, or living off the government in jail. That's you!
You don't know the first thing about me, bro.
What's to know? What's to know? You serve absolutely no function whatsoever. It's pathetic.
I probably made more money in the last 2 years than you did in your whole f***ing life, man. See, man, a couple years from now, you ever see me driving by in my f***ing Lambo? You're gonna put your f***ing foot so far up your mouth, bro.
Finally, after a decade of self-exile from Hollywood's blockbuster, Pattinson is back. Actually, is it Battinson now? Matt Reeves' long-awaited DC film, The Batman, stars a less sparkly Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, who is not unlike Edward Cullen. I mean, hear me out. They're both reclusive rich guys, and they are both associated with bats. Almost like it's the same guy. Kristen Stewart.
But it's an emergency.
Is the house on fire?
No.
Is anyone hurt?
No, but...
Then leave.
Lisa, please, we're really scared. Can you just watch what this game does?
If this is some weird kind of joke you guys are trying to pull, you're dead.
No, it's not a joke. Here, watch it. Watch it.
Speaking of twihards, we can't forget about R. Pat's co-star and one-time IRL girlfriend, Stewart. Though she may have become a tween sensation with the outbreak of Twilight Mania, a careful eye can actually catch her in a ton of films before that. From David Fincher's Panic Room, Sean Penn's Into the Wild, where I first saw her, David Gordon Green's Undertow, and, of course, Jon Favreau's Zathura, A Space Adventure. And if you really want to get specific, there is her uncredited appearance as Ring Toss Girl in Viva Rock Vegas. In 2008, she made her leap into the world of YA adaptations, appearing in both Jumper and Twilight in the same year. Ho! Remember Jumper? That was supposed to be the next big thing. Ha! One of those two YA adaptations would become a blockbuster juggernaut, and much like her on and off beau, Stewart would, for better or worse, be synonymous with the sparkly vampire brand for the next 4 years, culminating in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 in 2012. Taking a cue out of her ex's playbook, Stewart then shifted gears, focusing on smaller art house features. Snow White and the Huntsman as the exception, not the rule. Movies like Adventureland, Personal Shopper, Clouds of Sils Marie, Certain Women, and Still Alice.
Why are you telling me this? It's none of my business. You want people to know? You think if you arouse their pity, they'll back off. I've been around a lot less than you. But in my experience, it's quite the opposite, wouldn't you agree?
She's been known to go hard on her preparation as well. For Welcome to the Rileys, she spent nights at clubs, teaching herself how to dance on bar tops to convincingly play a 16-year-old stripper. To get into character as Joan Jett in The Runaways, Stewart taught herself guitar. But for her upcoming role of Princess Diana in Spencer, which already has critics buzzing about her ticket to the Academy's shortlist for Best Actress, Stewart fell back on some personal experience. Being in the public spotlight for Twilight put her in the crosshair of a million paparazzo and a public clamoring for salacious details about her private life. So basically, she didn't have to work her imagination up that hard to tap into what life must have been like in the spotlight. But let's not bury the lead here. By far, the coolest thing about Kristen Stewart is her recent pitch to the press. Let her play the next villain to Robert Pattinson's Batman. Yeah, yes. Just give her the eco-terrorist Poison Ivy. Oh my goodness, here, take my money. Adam Sandler.
That's what that is.
A black opal?
I do my research. These guys live near the whale mines, which primarily is red opals, which aren't worth okay?
Okay.
But these you can't get your hands on these things, you understand?
Really?
So look, I say to myself, how do I get a hold of these guys? And I managed to track these guys down. I buy one from them.
Holy
that is, what is that? That's right here. That's The Rock. That's The Rock.
Adam Sandler's career post-Saturday Night Live is a fascinating study. You've got his goofball comedies like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Little Nicky, The Waterboy. You've got rom-com dramedies like Spanglish and Funny People. He's the star of the animated Hotel Transylvania franchise, has a huge deal with Netflix to keep just churning out whatever you classify blended and murder mystery. All in all, I mean, a solid comedian, right? But Sandler can go surprisingly deep, as fans of Paul Thomas Anderson's might know from his 2002 film Punch Drunk Love. Sandler plays Barry, a repressed loner with violent outbursts and an obsessive tendency to hoard airline frequent flyer miles.
As confusion say, and then DJ just says confusion or Confucius, and it was just so comical. But DJ just cuts you down the sides, you know. And that's my favorite part of the show. I laugh and laugh, even when I'm alone.
When Anderson told an assembled audience at Cannes who he had cast to star in his movie following the success of Magnolia, the press literally laughed him off the stage. To be fair though, they assumed that he was making a joke and were probably just being polite. The following year, Punch Drunk Love was back at Cannes Film Festival, where it was nominated for Best Director as well as the top prize for a feature film, the Palme d'Or. Sandler, meanwhile, was recognised by the Golden Globes with a nomination for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. Really though, you know why Sandler's on the list, and that is for Uncut Gems, the Safdie brothers' 2019 art house panic attack that everyone assumed would nab its Best Lead Actor nomination. As Midtown diamond dealer and gambling addict Benny, Sandler is a non-stop wind-up machine, perpetually hustling against his own best interest, even as he's scrambling to dig himself out of debt. So yeah, all in all, very stressful. Like I'm struggling breathing just thinking about it. Sandler had told reporters that if he didn't get a nomination, his follow-up film would be the worst movie ever, saying, and I quote, "If I don't get it, I'm going to come back and do one again that is so bad on purpose just to make you all pay. That's how I get him." And remember, this was Sandler's first live-action big-screen performance since Pixels in 2015. So we know Sandler's going to make good on that threat. Grown Ups 3, Geriatric Ward, anyone? And with that, we close the book on the actors who pivoted hard for that hardware. Of course, there are many other performers across the years who fit the criteria, and we'd love to hear from you about your picks for celebrities who fit the superlative of biggest career change for a golden statue. You can check us out, as always, by going to RottenTomatoes.com, your destination for all things movie and television, from the tomato meter to news to our original features and best of lists. There's something for everyone. I'm Maud Garrett, and you've been watching RT Essentials. Stick around because we have some great content coming your way after this.